Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayoshola Ogunlele. Mass economy, a quintillion dollar economy with priceless economic drivers. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: mass economy and mass economic drivers. Since the mid 1600s, mass myths and folklore genre narratives have been presented via various scientific fictional illustrations. In the late 1800s, Mars was the most popular celestial object, and humans were strongly attracted to it. Advances in planetary science immensely influenced evolution of Mars composition trends. The 19th century scientific belief and assumptions that the Mars surface conditions could support intelligent life gingered Mars exploration interest groups to come up with various scientific fictions. Ever since humans set eyes on Mars, it has been a source of attraction for space enthusiasts, government space agencies, and private space companies. For a long period of time, there had been eagerness to either visit the red planet or explore its numerous minerals valued by the economists as worth about quadrillions of dollars. Mars economy is an important integral part of a successful Mars colony and space economy. Scientists suggested that Mars reduced gravity well, and its position in the solar system will be one of the facilitators of the growth of Mars Earth economy. Based on its position close to the asteroid belts, researchers are proposing that Mars will be a good place to grow food and develop equipment necessary for its exploration. Also, economists believe that Mars real estate market will be a good contributor to the evolution of Martian economy. In-situ resource utilization is also being proposed. Through this approach, the Mars settlers will have to develop their local resources, which could be used for infrastructure construction and as well as water and food for Martian consumption. Mars colonization ideology will come into fruition once there is a well-developed Mars economy. Because of the closeness of Mars to the asteroid belt than the Earth and lesser delta V, involved to get to the asteroid belt and return minerals to Mars, it will be easier to mine asteroids from Mars. Once this is achievable, it will contribute immensely to the growth of the Martian economy. To have cheaper launch systems to Mars, various government and private space companies are investing and developing reusable launch vehicles. For example, SpaceX is developing a reusable and affordable launch vehicle named Starship, which could one day launch astronauts and space enthusiasts to the moon, Mars, and beyond. Mars economy. Over the years, ideas of marine economy have been deliberated upon based on interest to colonize the Mars. It is said that innovation and ideas will play a major role in the development of Mars economy. Building economy on Mars will benefit both the Martians and their descendants and on Earth. The various spin-offs will benefit humankind on the Earth. Artist's impression of Mars-based alpha is shown in this picture. There are various Mars economic drivers, and some of them are Earth Mars trade, Mars strategic position, solar power harvest, Mars reduced gravity well, development of cheap launch systems, and asteroid belt mining from Mars. Earth Mars trade. Earth Mars trade is the trade between the Earth and the Mars. A very successful Mars economy will help the sustenance of the Mars colony. The Mars reduced gravity and its position in the solar system are to be facilitators of Mars-Earth trade and are projected to provide an economic rationale for continued settlement of the Mars planet. Illustration of Mars colony is shown in this picture. Justifications and modifications for colonizing Mars include curiosity, potential for humans to provide more in-depth observational research than uncrewed rovers, an economic interest in its resources, and the possibility that the settlement of other planets could decrease the likelihood of human extinction. At Mars trade is started to be the primary form of commerce for the first Martian settlements. Concept of Mars sample return is shown in this picture. Mars strategic position is another economic driver of Mars colonization and economy. The strategic position of Mars in the solar system is a facilitating factor for the Mars-Earth trade, and it is proposed that it will provide an economic rationale for continued settlement of the planet. Given its size and resources, Mars is said to be a place to grow food and produce equipment to mine asteroid belt. Illustration of Perseverance rover using its drill to core a rock sample on Mars is shown in this picture. Mars as fourth planet. Mars orbits the Sun, and it is the fourth planet from the Sun at an average distance of about 228 million kilometers. One day on Mars takes a little over 24 hours. Mars makes a complete orbit around the Sun in 687 Earth days. Mars ice home designed for a Mars base is shown in this picture. Based on strategic position of Mars and to determine its economic viability, several missions have been launched to study Mars, from flybys and orbiters to rovers on the surface. The first true Mars mission success was the Mariner 4 flyby in 1965. Current missions are determining Mars' past and future potential for life and how its economy can be developed. The picture here shows artist's impression of the ExoMars 2016 mission. Solar power harvest. Solar power is a candidate for power for a Martian colony. Solar installation, which is the amount of solar radiation that reaches Mars, is about 42% of that on Earth. Since Mars is about 52% farther from the Sun and installation falls off as the square of distance. An artist's rendering of Mars Odyssey is shown in this picture. Solar power first. The Mars-thin atmosphere will allow almost all of the solar energy to reach the surface as compared to Earth, where the atmosphere absorbs roughly a quarter of the solar radiation. Sunlight on the surface of Mars will be much like a moderately cloudy day on Earth. It is being proposed to harvest solar power from the Mars and transmit it to the Earth. Illustration of a rocket carrying a container of chips with Martian rock and soil samples into orbit around Mars is shown in this picture. Mars reduced gravity well is another economic driver. A gravity well is the pull of gravity that a large body in space exerts. The larger the body, the more of a gravity well it has. The Sun has a large gravity well. Asteroids and small moons have much shallower gravity wells. Anything on a planet, for example Mars or Moon, is considered to be at the bottom of the gravity well. Artist's concept of Mars exploration rover is shown in this picture. Entering space from the surface of a planet or moon means climbing out of the gravity well, which often takes a huge amount of energy. The larger a planet or moon's gravity well is, the more energy it takes to achieve escape velocity. Due to Mars having smaller gravity well, it has high economic benefits. An artist's impression of mining operations on Mars ahead of a potential colony of humans on the red planet is shown in this picture. Development of cheaper launch systems is another economic benefit that is being looking at. Investment in the development of cheaper launch vehicle systems, which has capability to be launched into Mars, is one of the drivers of Mars economy. Presently, SpaceX is developing reusable launch vehicles such as Falcon Heavy and future methane-based launch vehicles including the starships. Artist's conception of the SpaceX interplanetary transport system is shown in this picture. If SpaceX is successful in developing the reusable technology, it will be expected to have a major impact on the cost of access to space and change the increasingly competitive market in space launch services. Artist's impression of the terraforming of Mars from its current state to a habitable state is shown in this picture. Asteroid belt mining from Mars. Mars is much closer to the asteroid belt than Earth, and as a result, it will take less than a V to get to the asteroid belt and return minerals to Mars. One hypothesis is that the moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos, are actually asteroids which were captured from the asteroid belt. 16 Psyche and Darweather. It has been estimated that 16 Psyche asteroid in the main belt could have over $10,000 quadrillion dollars worth of minerals, and 511 Davide could have about $27 quadrillion dollars worth of minerals and resources. Illustration of a terraformed Mars so as to make it more habitable is shown in this picture. A psych orbiter is being planned by NASA to be launched to study the asteroid and its economic viability. Using the moon Phobos to launch spacecraft is energetically favorable and a useful location from which to dispatch missions to main-belt asteroids, mining the asteroid belt from Mars, and its moons could help in the colonization of Mars. Illustration of plants growing in a hypothetical Mars base is shown in this picture. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been watching and listening to Mars Economy, a quintillion dollar economy with priceless economic drivers. With the focus points Mars Economy and Mars Economic Drivers, presented by Dr. Ayeshola Ogundele of Astronautics for Exploit. Thank you.